Alright, let's see, so we're back. I was really considering starting over, just because I made something new. I made a mod for once. It's not much of one, but there's a little Wanderbot now. I haven't released it on the Steam Workshop. I could if people really wanted to, but now I get to play Forager as me, as opposed to, you know, just kind of the usual Marshmallow Man. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. It took me like maybe an hour this afternoon. Originally I was going to try and make it straight, but there's actually a there's a custom skin tool that if you go onto what are you lurking, Shell? Oh, Shell hadn't seen it yet. Yeah, it's super cute. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But yeah, if you go onto the workshop, there will be like an empty placeholder sprite thing that you can get. And if you read the description of it, it will talk about a custom skin creator, which you still have to make the whole thing yourself. But it gives you all the templates and compiles it all into a convenient mod for you. So if you don't know how to program, like I don't know how to program, you can actually make your own skin for this game. Oh, Wandering Trader. What does he have? Void Portal. Nuclear fuel cell. I'm very poor, and I'm not sure if any of these are good. I'm going to leave them... Oh, shoot. I am very injured. I should probably chow down. Okay, there we go. Let's see. But yeah, so if you have any level of art skill or can honestly just find some sprites, you can pretty much make yourself a custom model for Forager now for any game you can think of, which is cool. Let's see. Did you miss a stream of this? Yes, you probably missed the end of last night. Well, it wasn't quite the end of last night. It was like the middle of last night. Because I started with other games and then switched to this. Okay, so what do we do now? I'm kind of in this, like, awkward butt end of can't do much. We needed gold. We have gold now. So gold has been obtained. Put away that up. What do I deposit? I guess I'll just start depositing, cacti. What do we do then? I've forgotten where I was. We don't need the backpack as much. We need a lot of leather, but we don't have quite enough critters for it. Skull amulet needs steel. So we need a lot of steel. I guess that's the easy answer here. Steel, nightshades, bottled water. What's this have? Nothing immediately useful. So, I guess... Why don't we actually... Whoops. There was a creature hiding there. I'm going to tear up these first. And we're going to move all of my mini forges around. Ideally, I'd like to set it up so we have this entire island as kind of its own self-contained thing. With just like a bunch of automatic forges sitting there just kind of working. I'm probably going to run out of wood before I can pull this off, but I'm going to see if I can fill this out. Just because this area was getting a little bit finicky for me. It's close enough. And yes, I have a kitty cat. I might look into what it would take to mod the kitty cat next. Like, straight up, I'd actually really like to spend some amount of time over the next couple of weeks modding the heck out of Forager and, like, starting to really change some things around. Mainly because I actually really want to learn Game Maker at some point. And I learn... The best way for me to ever learn is by reverse engineering something and then remaking it slightly different and then kind of iterating on that until I have a firm understanding of what I'm doing. I pretty much did that with my... I mean, not everything. But I know, like, originally when I was doing art, for example, I was... When I first started out, I was just browsing DeviantArt, more or less, and trying to find people's styles that I thought were good, that I could kind of emulate without, like, too much effort, and so on and so forth. And, you know, keep doing that until I find kind of my own thing and, you know, actually have the ability to do stuff. Got a giant chicken pet. Cat is much nicer. I like the cat. It's really cute. But I might see if I can make it purple and give it, like, an Omega face. Or, you know, have like a little shell kitty or something. Like a little RoboCat. That would be cool. I don't know how easy that would be to do, but it would be neat anyway. Okay, but yeah, so I'd like to learn how to make games in Game Maker, mainly because, like, one of my eventual, it's both, like, bucket list and also, like, you know, in case YouTube folds on me, is I would really I'd really enjoy having a couple of games to my name. Okay, so it looks like I can only have one of these for, that's gonna bother me. I can only have one of these forges per, like, 4 squares, so I guess I'm just gonna put them just on top of... Damn it! Wait, what? Oh. Hold up. It looks like I can actually do it in reverse. I mean, this is good EXP, so that's a plus. And a little bit of money. And some other things. Okay. Let's see. Can I do this? I can. There we go. Now we can have a forge for literally everything. Okay, so cooked fish, infinite. Bam. Next up, brick. I don't know if I want to have infinibricks. We'll probably have enough coals. We'll probably have enough coal, but... it still seems like a bad idea. I need to go get some gold ore, I guess, first. I cannot wait until we get to mining rods. This will get a lot easier then. Or either that or... I mean, there's a lot of different things that would actually facilitate this whole setup better. Gold. Oh, gold is... buried. We should probably also just spend a lot of time bottling bugs. I know I don't necessarily need to, but it seems like bottling bugs is one of the main like... or bottled bugs are one of the main resources now. For better or mostly inconvenient. It's a good progression lock, though, I guess. Also, shout out to John from the Forager team. I was putting together my first episode of this to put on YouTube, and I actually couldn't find any like high-res versions of the promo art that they usually make for each update. And I was a bit flummoxed. I was just like, you know, I can't find anything. I actually tried messaging Hopfrog, but he turned off all DMs, which honestly makes sense. The guy... this game, I wouldn't say this game is quite as popular as Stardew Valley, but like, oh boy, it was wildly more successful than even I could have imagined. I knew this game was going to be a winner. And so, like, I was on his Discord for a little while and just being like, oh boy, there's just, like, a ton of people here. Let's see, get the Thunder Rod soon. Makes harvesting easier. Really? Oh, does the Thunder Rod, like, explode everything in the immediate area? Also seems like digging is considerably improved. Okay. By the way, I should probably reiterate for people that have not... can I guess I've already dealt with that. I've played this game so many times, apart from, like, new things that were introduced with this patch. Please, I don't need to be told how to do stuff, because I really, truly know a lot about this game. So Thunder Rod... oh! Thunder Rod is in the as in the dungeon. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, we got a Skeleton Man. Get away from my shit. Anything else? No. Okay. Well, let's go back to this. Let's make gold ingots infinite. There we go. And then I'm going to want to make probably half steel. I'd like to make more steel than that, but I only have so much. Oh, that's cool. Just earned a 50k bits badge. Keep all backseating to a minimum. I need to make some bit badges, by the way. I am sorry about that. How does Wander have a Wanderbot skin? I made it. Okay. So what do we... Unfortunately, I feel like lightning rods are all the way up here. We could start going for nuclear anyway, which I think... Yeah, I'm just gonna go for physics. We'll just see what happens. I noticed from your YouTube vids that you said numerous times you don't like backseat gaming. And unfortunately, it's one of those that I'm gonna have to just keep saying it forever, because it doesn't... People don't listen, or people are just new. And, you know, have to be told. And, like, 90% of the time it's fine. But, like, yesterday I was playing, Gemcraft, and it was... I was having a tough time, and then I had a bunch of people just yelling suggestions for stuff that, like... You know, they hadn't even played the game before. Or, things that I was already doing constantly. And I was just kind of like... This isn't... It's not fun to see, like, a little notification pop up on the side of my screen being like, do this wander over and over again. Especially when I'm, like, already struggling. I don't know. It also puts me in this kind of weird, bad, like, funk. Where I'm just kind of like, I wanna have that community interaction. But when it's a lot of people just telling me how to do stuff, I'm just like, I check out. Because I don't want or need that. Golden gloves seem like a good idea. So let's go set this to infinite glass. Because I don't think we're using sand for anything else in this game. Can you mod the pickaxe to look like a game controller? I could, yeah. I think I might even be able to add another tier of, like, mining. And, change the sprites for that and so on and so forth. It can get bad enough with just a younger sibling. My thing is, my younger sibling is better than me. Like, considerably so. So I never had to backseat game for him. Or vice versa. Because I get stuck, I just pass it off to him. And then back and forth. I'm probably better at a lot of games than him nowadays, but that's just because I play so much of it. Whereas, I think he mostly just plays, like, TCGs at this point. Okay. Let's see. So this'll maybe get us the golden gloves, but not immediately. Backpack's a little ways out. Boots. Boots would be nice. A lot of these would be kind of nice. But yeah, I do apologize that I say it a lot. Like, I'd very much like to never have to reiterate myself on anything. Ooh, landfills. And I'm gonna buy the Royal Steel. We bought the Wisdom Drops. Yeah, they're probably worth their weight in gold. Especially because I can start selling things kind of here and there. Well, do we just drink the Wisdom Draught? Maybe. I'm trying to think of... Now, let's just plonk down another, plonk down another vault. That's gonna be more than enough bricks. You shouldn't have to apologize for trying to make the game experience fun for yourself. I know. I'm conditioned to apologize for anything that might annoy or offend people. Because, like, I truly do want people to sit back, enjoy, and so on and so forth. And, like, I hate it that it, like, a personality flaw or, like, you know, a thing that bothers me might stand in the way of other people. I guess not exactly in the same vein, but I found out that... Well, okay. Let's go with a more broader thing than something very specific. So, obviously, I'm nearing 30 and I've met a lot of people over the years. And, one of my multiple friends, actually, over the years have gone trans. Which, you know, great for them. Obviously, I've no, like, prejudices against anybody's orientation or... you know, to be determined as gender? I don't know. Anyway, but one of the things that one of them told me at some point was that, you know, they often, felt like they kind of had to isolate themselves from everybody beforehand because it was always super awkward trying to figure out, like, who was able to, like, cope with it and who wasn't, and so on and so forth. And I think that specific comment made me a lot more, like, I'm going to say preoccupied with what I might say or do that could bother or, like, put somebody off. And before I knew it, more or less, you know, now I'm just like, okay, what might bother this person? You know, what do I know about them that might... I'm gonna just eat that fairy. Because, you know, I don't want anybody to ever, like, alienate me. Alienate me isn't the right word. Withdraw from me or whatever, just because, like, I have some kind of negative tendency. What are some other good examples? I don't know, because the trans thing kind of works, but it's not as good of one as I'd like it to be. Let's see. How do you feel about killing the beats? I don't really like killing the beats. They're not really in the way. I mean, if you notice, there's tons of resources here. So unless I desperately needed this land for something, then, unless I desperately needed this land for some big project, I pretty much just leave them alone and go nuke something else. Ideally, I'd like to destroy, clear and destroy a dungeon or something. You need a contextual example. Yeah, I mean... Oh, you know what? Actually, better example would be choice of language. And to some degree, this is kind of a no-brainer. Let's go with actually the first time where I was, like, truly, like, mildly over-aware of the use of language and how that can bother people. I was once approached by a person who was quite annoyed by the fact that I was using the word mongoloid. And, you know, I was saying it as just kind of like a nonsense, like, insult. If you notice nowadays, I use scumsucker. Hopefully that's not offensive, but, you know, at the time I wasn't even thinking mongoloid, Mongolian. I was just thinking, it sounds funny, and, you know, it kind of, it kind of evokes I wouldn't even say, like, a negative connotation, but, you know, I just was no-brainer using it as an insult, and it's like, wait a second, no, this is actually quite insulting. And not that there's anything wrong with scum sucking. I mean, you should at least make sure it's not riddled with diseases or, like, impure and so on and so forth. Offensive to pleco fish. But so, like, yeah, finding out or having that realization that, like, oh yeah, this actually would be, you know, bothersome to somebody. Like, you obviously can't avoid triggering everyone, because, like, some people have really ridiculous things. Like, I had one friend who would not talk to me if I was wearing, God, I think it was the color red, because she associated it with some negativity or something. I never asked about it, because it was, like, a super not friendship. It was more of a, like, hey, we hang out in the same area. Oh, you don't talk to me if I'm wearing, like, one shirt out of 10. That's very strange. I don't know if I can get along with you. But, like, you know, most people have more reasonable issues and so on and so forth. And so, like, yeah, becoming cognizant of, like, yeah, this could bother somebody is actually something that I deal with a little bit. I mean, obviously, I can't avoid everything just because I am speaking off the cuff for hours every day. And so it's super easy for me to say something that is actually pretty stupid. And I either have to, like, kind of awkwardly defend it or just own it and be like, yeah, that was stupid. And then, you know, try and move on and, like, not improve. But I'd like to avoid that kind of gaffe when at all possible. There's still some things that I'm not going to be able to necessarily change. Like, I think I'm always going to make low-key lewd jokes. I'm never going to be, like, I guess, that kid-friendly. And on the plus side, at this point now, especially for YouTube, you really don't need to be super kid-friendly. I'd still like to be, like, relatively inclusive, but children should go outside and do other things instead of watching me play video games. I sort of in the same vein, I had a woman say that she and her 1-year-old, I think it was 1-year-old, maybe it was 10-month-old, I don't know, close enough, she was talking about how my videos are fairly wholesome, and she loves watching them with her child, and I'm just like, I make some fairly untoward jokes here and there. Nothing offensive, but like, that kid's gonna have a weird sense of humor if it learns anything from me. And maybe that's not such a bad thing, but like, it definitely did make me think about like, should I tone it down a little? Do I have to worry about it? Oh, yeah, not exactly in the same vein. 2 years ago? Or was it? No, it was like a year and a half ago. I was at, yeah, Boner Man. Oh yeah, I will always call skeletons boners. I don't know, there's a certain line that I will just, where I'm just like, yeah, too much is too much. Freaking, I love calling skeletons boners. The reaction every time I do is just, it's wonderful. I don't know. It's also, I get the same reaction whenever I call any of my characters D-O-O-D, which is dead, I think, in Dutch. And so, like, straight up, if you watch any of my, Fallout series, for example, I'm implying that my, you know, all of the protagonists are, you know, somehow undead or something like that. Yeah, dude is Dutch for dead, which, I don't know, I think that's really cool. It's mainly a Disgaea reference, but I will get a lot of people that will chime in to say, like, did you know that this is Dutch for dead? And I'm like, yes! You're the nth person that's told me. But I still love it, just as kind of like a neat little thing. Oh, let's eat that. I wonder if I have enough oranges. Probably not. Yeah, that might actually be enough oranges. Okay, what was I working on next? Cauldron. That's what I want to build. Okay, bombs. They cost steel. They're probably worth it. They cost steel and coal. Do we want to just make a boatload of bombs and go mining? I don't immediately need steel. We'll go with this. Okay. Let's see. Ah. But yeah, a year and a half ago, I'd been speaking to a developer, the developer of Summoner's Fate, specifically. Lovely guy. Lovely game. I gotta figure out when it's actually coming out on Steam or a platform that I can play it on. I think it is available just on, like, off of his website, which is a little harder. But he was talking about how he and his, like, 4-year-old watch my content, and I'm just like, oh, I mean, sure, but I felt bad, because I definitely had, like, a fouler mouth, a couple of years ago. And so, like, that was really the moment where I said, like, yeah, I should probably... Oh, wait. How's the lantern work now? I don't see the lantern following me anymore. And I'm kind of confused about how this works. Also, thank you 2B Lewis for the 5-month resub. 5 months, never would have expected it, but it's been an honor being your sub, Wander. I've been here since before the scrap days, and hope to continue watching you grow and be yourself. Thank you! It is so interesting that scrap mechanic is, like, one of the main series that defines me. I just loaded that game up as a goof, and then it became kind of like my version of Gmod. And then, like, I think 3 months after I'd started my series, one of my videos took off and got like 100,000 views or something like that. And just, like, absolute change in trajectory as far as content and how my channel works. Not particularly important or relevant to anything. I just, every once in a while, get kind of nostalgic. Somebody brought up me doing, like, a second series on Holy Potatoes, a weapon shop is, like, my final series. Because I've talked about that a couple of times, like, and there's gotta be something like that for a number of YouTubers. Like, if you were going to do one last series on YouTube, what would it be? And I'm really curious what the answer would be from some people. So when are you playing Scrap next? I had a moment the other day where I was just like, man, I actually would like to play Scrap Mechanic again. And I'm actually gonna kind of stand by that. It's like, I actually am not against playing that game again. I just have to find people that would be willing to play it with me. In a fun and interesting manner. Which means I should probably talk to Scrapman at some point. But like, previously the only way I was gonna be able to play Scrap Mechanic was with my old group of friends, and that ain't happening, so it was just kind of like a, well, I'll just play this at some point, maybe on my own, I'm not sure. But you can actually damage stuff, and there's a potato gun and stuff. Yeah, I've heard really good things about what they've done. It still feels like way too little development for how long it's been in the works. I think Scrap Mechanic going for, I'm gonna bust up every gold rock just because we need the gold. Scrap Mechanic going for a, what was it? Survival mode. Putting survival mode into Scrap Mechanic, I think, was an absolute mistake. They should have just kept adding more interesting parts and features, and had survival mode just be the infinite joke. But instead, they committed to it, and now the game is just kind of stuck in this, like, weird perpetual limbo, where modders, I think, have done more work for the game than the actual, like, developers. When was the last time you played with a vac? It's been a while. I need to bug him, too. I spent a lot of the last year kind of mired in, I'm not going to say exactly self-pity, but, like, kind of going hand in hand with the idea of, like, you know, not wanting to offend people, is that, like, when something bad happens to me, I tend to withdraw a little bit, because it's easy to kind of reflect, and not, like, bother other people if I'm kind of in my own bubble. And so, doing stuff with a vac was amazing, but I would have somewhat long spells where I'm just like, I know I would be mediocre, and as such didn't really have the, like, desire to reach out to other people, and it was kind of more of, like, a distant friendship. What I hope to do this year is actually, yeah, commit to doing stuff, you know, get D&D going, again, just as a campaign, multiple campaigns even. I don't mind running 2 concurrent D&D campaigns with multiple different people. I just have to actually say, like, Tuesday, we're doing it, and, you know, get people to come back. Water nuke something. I don't know if there's nukes in this game. If there are, we'll nuke something. I know there are dungeon bosses that you can super blast, but... Let's see. What was the game, though? Some open-world building game. I was playing Satisfactory with the Vax, so I was actually thinking with their third update, I'd bug him. Alternatively, maybe also... I mean, a lot of different things. I think his computer's working again, which is kind of exciting. Because that was part of the reason why I stopped bugging him about stuff, is because I knew his computer was dead. And that usually implies... they won't have, well, when my computers are messed up, I pretty much know, like, I'm not going to be able to do anything with anybody, even if I wanted to. Oh, do I have a bunch of slime in my inventory? No, I don't. I'll put the bones in. There are, in fact, atomic bombs. Fun. Alright, screw it. I'm just gonna drop a couple of these. Yeah, the tragedy is these bombs don't do quite enough damage. They're getting there. That seemed not worth it. It really is. It doesn't seem like it's worth it, but it saves me a massive amount of time. So one thing I miss is art streams. It's understandable with the influx of new games. That's another... I really need to sit down and, like, do some kind of bucket list thing. No matter what, if I start doing D&D campaigns again, we'll get art streams. Okay, so atomic bombs aren't worth it. So what you're saying is atomic bombs when I have nothing else better to do. Easy. Damn, some fish into my face. I'm just going to clear out these rocks and then we'll come back later. I want to get the flower press down sooner than later. Yeah, that's probably good enough. Let's see, mods are in the workshop for scrap mechanic. I'm aware. Oh, this probably has new inventory. And it has garbage. Okay, so what skills do we go for? Let's see. Droids seem just kind of out there. We could go for factories or offshore drills. Oh, may gather sand for free. Let's go for the offshore drills. It's probably going to be a little expensive to get it down. Because this is a really good spot to build some. Let's see. So I need royal steel. I don't actually know if I can make that stuff yet. I think I can. I think it's just really expensive. Let's just go all in on steel. I really wish for the forges you could actually set, instead of just infinite, if you could actually set like a number. Been playing RimWorld recently and being able to set like always keep a supply of about 100 meals like on hand. Such a nice way of handling things. I don't know. Wish more games had that. See, droids attack and gather. The problem is droids are expensive and require electronics, which I can't make yet without a completely different setup. Really, I just need more. Oh, there we go. Without the offshore drill, I can't actually make a droid unless we can buy one. Sometimes I'll be able to buy them. Let's add those to the list. What else would we want to store? That, glass, poop. And let's probably do cooked meat. Trying to slowly sort this down so I actually have... I don't need backpacks. Well, I especially don't need backpacks at this point. Not really. Still be useful to get them, but it's not like a high priority anymore. So 25 steel if I want to make this skull amulet. That's probably the next order of business. And then money. Let's see. So what's on for tonight? New mystery pool for new games? Or just got one or two? I've got about 30 new games that I need to play over the next month. And that list grows daily. So what I try and do is play at least two new games a night. Just to get some of them out of the way. So the new games that I have access to are A Long Way Down, which is a neat-looking roguelike, and Super Crush KO, which is a really stylish-looking, like, beat-em-up platformer, where the developers had been very kind and asked me to check out their game at, like, every PAX that I've been to for the past, like, 2 years, and I've never bothered because I had other things that were, like, on my plate. And so I figured I might as well at least put out a video being like, hi, this game is pretty. And then probably move on just because I don't have enough time for much. I say as I play Forager, one of the, like, truly infinite games that I have on my docket always, but there's only so much you can do about it. Yeah, good luck, Wander. I mean, it's not luck, it's just time. The other thing is, I should probably mention this, not that it's particularly relevant to right now, but, I'm going to be taking tomorrow off. For those of you that are usually kind of in tune with my schedule, because I've got the monthly streamer meetup in downtown Portland that I wanted to go to. And also, it's good to take a day off here and there. So we're going to go out and, like, get sushi and so on and so forth. I want to see if there's, like, a late-night cafe or something that I can hang out at. Because the problem with the streamer meetup is it's got, like... There's so many people there, because it's just a bar. And not all of them are there for the streamer meetup. So you just kind of have to, like, sort through. It's like, okay, so are you somebody that I actually, like, that is relevant to the event that I'm here for, or are you just, like, some person at a bar? Um, and the other problem is it's just loud. I don't know. I like quiet places. I myself can be a loud person, but it's so much nicer for me when I can, like, sit back and hang out with people and not have to worry about, like, losing my voice by the end of the night. Which still happens no matter what. How dare you take time for yourself? Why would you be a reasonable person and take care of yourself? Yeah, that's absolutely, like, bucket list number 1. Ooh, liquid luck. I'm never going to be able to afford. We should find some stuff to sell. Things that I could make. I guess, honestly, selling cooked meat is probably my best option. Same thing with cooked fish. Yeah, so let's grab the cooked meat. I'm gonna put wood back. Let's see. Is it okay if you name a streamer besides you that's just starting up? I'd prefer it if people didn't, actually. I know streamers and whatnot need all the help they can get, but I don't like being a platform for advertising people I actually don't know. Generally. Not to mention, it's really one of those where it's like, I would prefer to vet every single person that I ever, like, promote in any way, shape, or form. Because there's a lot of not so great people out there, and I was talking about this a little bit, that a streamer streamer, I guess he was more of a YouTuber, had left a video as a comment on one of my videos, and more or less calling me out and, like, a bunch of other big YouTubers out for how he was going to, like, come for, you know, what was his, and, like, so on and so forth, and, like, how he deserved our success and some other things. And I was taken aback, because I never really think of myself as amazingly successful on YouTube. It's a great job, but, you know, I'm no Markiplier or PewDiePie or anything like that. And so it was weird and off-putting to be labeled amongst, like, a bunch of other really large YouTubers, and for being, like, too successful, and offending this guy for, I guess, taking what he felt like he deserved instead, which, like, that's a toxic mentality in and of itself, but it was odd. And it makes me realize sometimes, like, well, I mean, less so it makes me realize in so much as just, like, you kind of always know that there are just a lot of people out there with maybe not the best intentions, or, like, the best mindset going into things. And I like to, you know, if I were to feature anybody on my channel, I'd like to get to know them first, talk to them for a while, see if they're, you know, not going to cuss me or shell out in private for 3 days straight or something like that. 'Cause that sort of thing just ends poorly. Okay. Or worse, memes, I guess? I say as people rehost the Rickroll thing. I once just took on a completely random YouTuber, for a Binding of Isaac race. I was like, sure, why not? You know, you seem competent enough. And he just sat there trash-talking me for the entire time, and I was just like, this is why I don't talk to people. Let's see, how much money do I have? Okay, I actually have enough. I'm gonna buy that. And we're actually gonna go up here. Seeing as my, let's see. Actually, maybe I should look into getting the water shovel first. Check the market. Market has oranges. Not really what I'm looking for. What do I need for the water shovel? Ooh, nightshade. Yeah, that's not happening. Go back. Just keep making as much steel as we can. That's actually a lot of steel. Yeah. Let's see. There's a place called Gustav's that's pretty good. Okay. Personally, I've got a hankering for sushi real bad, so I think that's what I'm gonna try and go for tomorrow. I've never had belt sushi before I came to Portland, and so coming here and having belt sushi for the first time was like eye-opening on like, Oh, sushi that's affordable and large quantities and variety. I always hate going for, like, normal sushi at restaurants, because it's like, I want to try all of these rolls, and I don't want the full roll, but it's too expensive, and I'm only here with shells, so there's no way we're going to be able to eat all of the sushi on our own. Yep. Stay away from that for a second, and I need to get some health orbs at some point. Maybe unlock some dungeons. Okay, there we go. Eat out almost all of that sushi if you didn't want it. Well, ideally what I'd like to do is go with a group of people that I know and just, like, super split stuff. Or, yeah, belt sushi, which I've done in the past. And it's quite nice, because it's like, hey, here's this expensive thing that I normally don't, you know, want to... Okay, so apparently storing these in a box does not work. That's fine. Store thread, then. And... I'm unsure. I've got plenty of inventory space, though. You can eat 100 sushi pieces. Oh, jeez. I can have about 1.5 rolls before I stop wanting sushi. Let's see. So we got the cauldron. We got that. Can I get the offshore drill? No, we need royal steel. But I can get the flower press. I know I'm supposed to be saving up this steel. Oh. Okay, so what can I make? I can make sand. I can make gold ore. But I need wheat and flowers. That's an option. I wonder if there are, like, full-on hydroponic farms for this game. Because that'd actually be really cool. Let's see. Anyway, the last thing I should probably say with the, with people moving... people moving, not people moving. People advertising their content on my channel or vice versa. Just advertising content in general. It doesn't work to advertise yourself in front of somebody else's audience. I've played for years with certain people, and they never got, like, much viewership at all. I do notice some crossover audience happens here and there, but it's not as much as, like, you would think. Let's see. So do we want to get those sprinklers down? I guess we can. Let's see. I'm gonna just do that. We're gonna plant these berry seeds. It's time to go fishing. We're gonna just have a very heavy fish-based economy here, I guess. But yeah, I've streamed and recorded with a lot of people, and there's absolutely, like, crossover fans that happen. But rarely, if ever. People tend to find the people that they like, and, you know, they might find somebody. I've definitely noticed some people watching, like, Stumped, or people from Stumped watching me. But that's a much more, like, organic situation than a lot of, like, sub for sub or shout-out kind of situations go. Usually stuff like shout-outs and sub for sub never end well, and the YouTuber or streamer in question usually just ends up with nothing but, a shadow ban from YouTube. Which I feel kind of bad about, because, like, yeah, they're just trying to make it somewhere, but they don't know how. It's much better to actually figure out, like, how to organically grow an audience and interact with people. Let's see. So we could do a bunch of animal feed. Yeah, let's start with that, because that's easier. Like, always learn... Oops. Always learn how to do the job before figuring out how to advertise too much. It's like game development, where you advertise the game before you've even, like, really put a whole lot of time and effort into... into actually, like, coding the thing, give or take. Let's see, you mean, like, No Man's Sky. I know people like to meme about No Man's Sky being garbage, but, like, I actually really like it and where they've taken it. I'm a bit bored, but that's just because I've put, like, 100-something hours into the game. But, like, it actually remains probably one of my favorite sandbox games just because of how pretty and, like... It's a fairly functional game at this point. It's not the most exciting, but it's absolutely the kind of game that you can just load up. It's like this, where you can just load the game up and just do shit for a while. And you're... Like, I remain challenged playing this game, and rarely ever bored, but the challenge is more of kind of like, how do I do this thing, as opposed to, like... let's see. Okay, good. This popped up. Let's actually... Let's go lucky. Yeah, I want to just super farm berries for a while. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna drop a bomb there. Pop these down. And we'll go back to mining. Let's see where... I'll just plunk it there. Hit that one. Pop another bomb right here. This is a weird system. I'm not a... Am I getting EXP for bombing this? I guess let's find out. I do. Okay, that's good. Okay, that should be the last of the bombs. So I'm just gonna pop the rest of these open by hand. And then I want to go on a tree chopping spree just because I'm gonna need a lot of wood. And then after that, I have no idea what I'm gonna do.